So welcome everyone to our Raven Career Conversations, and today we are pleased to have Melissa Farmer with C&S Wholesale Grocers here to talk about C&S's programming and what they have to offer. Melissa Farmer is the Manager of Corporate Recruiting and Talent Acquisition, and so welcome Melissa, glad you're here.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I am as well, and I know that you and I have been dealing with some technical stuff, but I think we got it all under control. So let's go right on into our conversation, okay? All right.
Sounds
Tell
good.
us a bit about C&S Wholesale Grocers and talk about the opportunities, the values, and the culture.
Yeah, so C&S is the largest wholesale grocer in the country. So there's a lot of things going on just in really the supply chain of food, getting product from vendors like Kraft, Kellogg, Heinz, and getting them to our customers. And we work with chain customers, with independent stores, and also with the military. So there's a lot going on. So when we think about our values, the organization as a whole, so C&S has been around for 102 years. So we hit our 100-year anniversary in 2018. In tandem with that, we actually recreated, we recreated our purpose and our values really to think about, what we're looking to do as an organization over the next 100 years. And, those values, really resonate with employees, helping them to understand the impact that they have across the board. Things like we work as one team, every person matters, we're continuously working to challenge the status quo, those kinds of things. And I think those are things that are felt in, the work that we do every single day, the interactions that we have. And I think that's really important when you think about organizational culture.
Wow. Yeah, I think you're right. I love that you spoke about one team and that every person matters and that challenge the status quo. So let's keep that in mind when I ask you about this next question. How has the COVID-19 crisis impacted your organization, your staffing, and specifically, how do you put all of those values into play during this crisis?
So I think that's a great question. So obviously we're in an industry that, is, considered essential. We're helping to provide grocery stores with all the products that everybody needs to stay healthy, with everything that's going on with COVID-19. So we are busy, to say the least. All of our warehouses across the country, have people working overtime. We are hiring like crazy, and we've actually started partnering with some third-party labor, people who are employed by food service employers like Cisco and US Foods and Performance Food Group. And we've actually brought that labor into our warehouse to help with some of the additional needs we have, because otherwise they would have been laid off. So a lot of exciting partnerships going on, a lot of, really dedicated employees who we consider heroes because they're putting themselves in the front lines to make sure that people can put food on their tables.
Oh, wow. So you are not only continuing to hire in this really difficult environment, so thank you. But it seems to me like you're also putting your employees, you're concerned about their safety. And I know that I've seen some articles about what you all are doing to take care of your employees and to put them first. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, of course, certainly. So I think one of the things that, we did right from the very beginning is really understanding what the CDC guidelines are. So thinking about social distancing, thinking about enhancing our sanitation practices to make sure that, people are in a safe environment. In addition to that, we've actually recently shifted to providing reusable face masks to all of our employees that are interested in that. We're actually providing people with thermometers if they don't have them, so they can check their temperature before they're coming into work. And in terms of our interview practices and things like that, we've actually, across all of our facilities, all of our corporate roles as well, we've shifted to virtual interviews so that we're not putting people in harm's way, coming in for group interviews, for selector roles, things like that. So we're really trying to be mindful of all those things.
Well, thank you for that. Absolutely. I think that I'd like to talk to you about those sort of the new way that you're going to be hiring right now. So talk to me about the new way that you're hiring right now, as well as how does that impact your internship program?
So when we think about, all that people are doing today, we've certainly, like I said, we've shifted to virtual interviews, so a lot of times, we are making offers to employees that are starting in, a lot of our roles across the country who haven't necessarily stepped foot in our corporate office or, met their new manager, face to face. And in a lot of cases, the people that we're hiring for our corporate positions are starting remotely. So they're not starting in an office. We're mailing their laptop to their home. We're getting them all set up. We're doing virtual orientations. We're trying to be really thoughtful around, the circumstances that people are in, but we're trying to still get them started. So it's not necessarily stalling what we're doing. We're just adapting. So we actually had a couple Franklin Pierce interns that were with us when all of this kind of started. And so a couple of them have actually shifted to doing their internships remotely for the remainder of the semester. So we're really excited that they had those capabilities and that they're still able to get an experience, a different one, but hopefully still a good one.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I think that I've heard some great things, right? Always about how flexible C&S Wholesale Grocers actually is. And you've shown that once again during the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you so much for being able to continue to support interns in our in internships going forward. Do you think that your ability to support interns and internships in a virtual manner will continue beyond the present COVID-19, or is this just a stopgap measure?
So, we've always been really thoughtful around the experience that an intern has. And I know that, being able to experience a corporate setting, being able to, experience meetings live, to, think about, work etiquette, not just, email, but how you're interacting with people live in a meeting, being able to go and, shadow people who are doing different jobs. All of those things are easier in person. And we obviously want to, be mindful of the experience people are having. So when we think about interns historically who have worked in any kind of virtual capacity, it's generally been after they've already interned in person in one of our locations. And I think that just goes back to, making sure that people are trained adequately, that they have insight into the role. So I think, when things have calmed down, we will likely try to shift back to that. However, I think one of the things that we're not really sure of is how the current landscape is going to impact how people work. So a lot of companies have had to shift to allowing people to work remotely, and there are going to be a lot of people who, want to continue to have that capability. So I think it will be interesting to see how this changes, really the ask of the workforce and how employers respond.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what sort of activities or what sort of things should students or recent grads be doing right now while they're all at home, hopefully, being safe? What advice do you have to them to continue to work towards their career and to gain experiences?
So, students are in a very different world right now. They're at home, they're not on campus, they don't necessarily have the capability to, go set up an appointment with career services by, walking in and signing up. Career services and a lot of the things that are at their disposal are still there. So capitalizing on those kinds of things. So the fact that you're doing, these sessions, there are a lot of colleges that are doing information sessions. There are still jobs that are posted on job boards, and that could be for full-time roles, that could be for internships. So it's still reaching out, it's still taking advantage of all of those things. There's, I think, a little bit more work that, is on the students' end just in terms of understanding what resources are out there. And I think as long as they're doing those things and, they're demonstrating their interest and they're not just saying, oh, well, I'm at home, who cares? I think they'll be in good shape.
Well, we're definitely reaching out to the students and making sure that they know about the resources. And the last question I'll ask you is sort of what are the characteristics or the competencies or the skill sets that you find makes a successful candidate for your entry-level positions?
So more than anything, I think one of the things that resonates with people that are interviewing is passion and excitement. So if you come in and you don't smile and you don't really have any true interest in that job, people are going to know. So, being yourself, being excited to learn, being open to looking for process improvement, being, just excited to try new things and to learn. I think those are all really, really powerful. Obviously, understanding how to communicate effectively, how to play with numbers, those things are also really, really helpful. But, a lot of companies, a lot of employers are, very open to teaching, how to use a pivot table, things like that, but they want someone who has the right attitude and has the capability to work with people. So I think it's demonstrating those things when you're going in and you're interviewing for an internship or, a full-time job, whatever it may be.
Beautiful. Well, listen, I want to say thank you so much. Our time has come to an end, but before we go, is there two things? Is there anything you'd like to say that I didn't ask? And number two, make sure that you give our listeners, our viewers, the website and or email address where they can either apply or to view you on the website.
Okay. Well, I think we covered a lot of things that I wanted to touch on. I want to thank you for, giving me the opportunity to engage with you and with the Franklin Pierce student body. Good luck to, everybody as you, search for internships and jobs and everything that's going on, and stay safe. If you're interested in any opportunities at C&S, you can apply to roles at weselectthebest.com. And if there are any questions, feel free to send me an email, mfarmer@cswg.com.
Awesome. Thank you again, Melissa, and stay safe, stay healthy, and stay wise. Take care.
Thanks. You too.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.